keeps him.
Well, that was kind of my hope. Can we turn that off, please? That it would work out this way. And I told him, someone said to me, Tomper said that he wanted to be pinch ran for his last at bat if he got on. And I said, no, I'm not going to do that. If the score stays 6-3, I'm going to put him at third base. And I went to him and told him that, and he said, one hitter only, please. And I was going to leave him out there for the second hitter, but he was like, he was excited, and it just worked out. And that sixth run was a big run because you worry about, if the tying run gets to the plate. So that home run that Hicks hit was a big hit.
He seemed to really be soaking it in, enjoying it as the night went on. But did you notice anything different about him, about the emotions, trying to keep those emotions in check?
I didn't. I thought he handled it extremely well. I didn't think that he was, he didn't show emotion. I'm sure there were a ton of emotions. Where's Maddie? Yeah, there we go. So, but I thought he did a good job of keeping it in. Yes. Anyone tall enough? Where's Delwyn? Go ahead.
Chad.
Joe, you've talked about that you've had to make some negative decisions with him. How did it feel for you to get to do something positive for him then?
Oh, well, good. I think some people think that I wanted to make negative decisions, but that's not the case. I have a huge heart. And if this is the last time he plays, I wanted it to be something I never forgot.
In the front and the middle.
Yo, you do so many different things this week. How you can express yourself? How's emotional to see Alex Rodriguez going the last game today for him as a Yankee uniform?
Well, I was really excited when he got the double and we tied it up. Obviously, I thought that was a huge hit, a really good at bat. But it's hard.
Joe, a few seconds ago you said if this is the last game he plays. Do you have any doubts about that? And do you think that there's a possibility he will play again?
I think there's always a possibility, Wally. I think players might think in a sense that they're ready to step away, but sometimes they're not. And I understand that. I know for a lot of players, they'll step away and then they'll say, you know what, I'm going to give it one more shot. So if that's what he wants to do, I think it's great. I think he has a lot to offer to our young players, as he said, and as I've said before. He's been a shortstop. He's been a third baseman, and we have a really good stock of those guys in our organization. He has had to move positions. He has been a first-round pick where expectations were extremely high. He has been through controversy and has gotten back up and has always came back and played. I mean, there's a lot of do's and don'ts that I think that he can teach people. And I think he has a lot to offer. But I know how much he loves this game. And I know how much he loves working. He's a workaholic. Maybe sometimes to a detriment. where he wears himself out a little bit. But I know how much he loves putting on that uniform. I know how much he loves competing. I know how much he loves to play the game. And that's probably why this week was so tough for me, because that's what I want in a player. And me and Alex have been through a lot together, and I have really strong feelings for him. And this has been extremely hard.
Joe, left side. Dave.
Joe, there was a lot of talk leading up to this about other farewells that you guys put together, obviously Jeter, Mo, Andy, and the comparisons. With the way things went tonight, and as important it was that you said to make sure this night he wasn't forgotten by him, do you think you guys did it came out as well as it possibly could have with everything that happened?
I hope so. I hope he feels that way. You know, and I'm going to say it again. And, you know, some people don't understand this comment. I have a responsibility to do what I think is right to win games. That's my responsibility. And, you know, it was really hard telling him nights he wasn't DHing. That was hard for me. Because, again, there was a strong relationship there. We've been through a lot together. He's done a lot for this organization, and that was hard. But I hope this was as good as it could get for him.
Joe in the front on the left. Mark.
Joe, when you've had to go through these farewells with Derek and Mariano, it was the end of the season. You woke up the next day and you weren't coming to the stadium to play a game.
Yeah.
Is it going to be strange to come here tomorrow and resume your season with the same team, except he's not going to be here?
Yeah, it's all different. You know, I wish that this was at the point, as I told you before, that I could have let him do anything that he wanted to do. But we're not at that point in the season right now. So, yeah, it's going to be weird. There's obviously a lot of emotions. It'll be strange that he's not here tomorrow. You know, I've come to work here, I don't know what year this is, the 9th year. I was a bench coach for a year. I was a broadcaster for a couple of years, and I saw him every day. And it will be really different. A lot of times, like you said, you know, for like Georgie, when he retired, or Derek when he retired, the season was over, and you're used to not seeing him. You know, you're used to going to the park, or used to going home in the winters and not seeing people. But this will be. It became strange in spring training when I didn't see him. But this will be strange because he won't be here tomorrow.
Also, there were a couple of reports that Tyler Austin's going to be joining the team.
Yeah, I'm not sure if that move has been announced, but that was something we talked about.
Joe, second row in the middle. Barry.
Joe, is there any subtle or not so subtle irony in the fact that you guys won your last 3 games you played in?
Well, you know, I mean, you can look at a lot of different things. Is there irony? There always is at this stadium. I don't know how it happens, but when you're a Yankee, there's always irony. There's a lot of things that I think about tonight that are really ironic, you know? So, I mean, it was great. I sure did. Yeah, it's a promise.
Back middle. Kenny.
Joe, forgive me if you've been asked this, but how meaningful was it just for you to be able to have that conversation with him and to put him back at third base?
It meant a lot. You know, I mean, he took a few ground balls in Boston, right? And the ground balls he took, I was not prepared to put him there, right? Just because of what I saw. I know people might say it's like riding a bike, but there's a lot of different things that can happen. I mean, there's shifts that he hasn't done. What if he pulls a hammy and he can't play on Friday? You know? So it meant a lot that I could give him one of the things that he wanted to do. And as I said, I wish I could have given him everything. I really do. But we're not at a point in the season that I can, you know, I felt that I could do that, or the organization felt that we could do that. So it was great. I mean, like I said, it's ironic, but that 6th run was a big run.
Joe, far right against the wall.
What did you think about what Starlin was able to do against Archer?
Oh, I mean, he had a big night. You know, the 4 RBIs that he had, obviously, to put us up 5-3 was huge. Starlin had really good at-bats, and these guys have been grinding. And, I mean, an outstanding night. And, you know, those RBIs are really important. They're not only important to us winning a game and hopefully getting closer somewhere, but they're also important to being able to do what we wanted to do or what I wanted to do at the end.
Also against the wall, Danny.
Joe, you mentioned a couple times that 6th run. So if you hadn't had the 6th run, you were prepared to just play the game out the way it was.
Yeah, and I didn't want to do that. So here I am praying that Adam gets the first out, and Adam gets the second out, and then he walks Longoria, and I'm going, do I bring in the lefty to try to set up the perfect matchup, or what do I do here? I can't use Dellin for 4. I mean, there's a lot of things that I can't do, and I'm going, come on, Adam, come on. You know, it meant a lot. It really did. I called down and told Dellin what was going to happen. I told Torres what was going to happen. And, you know, so it worked out well.
You wouldn't have done it if it was a 2-0.
It was 5-3, no, because if there's a play that he can't make or they bunt, the tying run comes to the plate.
Again to the right, Dave.
Joe, you're very emotional, obviously, and is a lot of that because of the strain that was sort of put on your relationship with Alex, and yet, he seems very happy. He thanked you on the field for putting him in, and maybe just kind of a release of.
No, I mean, I'm sure it's part of it, because I was quite angry about the strain. You know, I was angry about it because I didn't need it. I didn't feel that it needed to happen, but it did, and I understand how that happens. But I'm gonna miss him. You know, I'm going to miss this guy. I mean, this guy did a lot of great things. I mean, I got to see a lot of neat things, and he helped us win a lot of games. And people that I really appreciate in life are the people that really have a passion for what they do. And he's got that. So, yeah, I know that sometimes I backed him, and maybe people thought, what are you doing? But I know how much he loves this game, and I feel for him that, he's not going out a champion. He's not going out on a 30-home-run season. I mean, that's my wish for every player, that they get to go out the way they want. So there's a lot of different emotions that go into this, but I'm going to miss him.
In the front, Ron, on the left.
In looking at him in his totality, as you talk to your kids and family and explain him, how do you balance his greatness as a player, his passion and enthusiasm, with all the missteps he's made?
We all make mistakes. All good people make bad decisions. That's the bottom line. None of us are immune to bad decisions. There's a lot of decisions that we wish we could, if we could do it over again, we would do it a different way. The big part about that is you own up to your mistakes, and you correct the mistakes that you make in life. And he has worked really hard at that a number of times, to try to get back and do the right thing. So, I mean, this is a guy that I tell my son, watch him hit, watch him swing, watch what he does. His mechanics are really, really good. Watch how he was a complete player. I talked to my son. You want complete players, and he was a complete player for a long, long time. I mean, this guy was a great defender. He was a great base runner. He knew how to play the game. He knew how to make adjustments. He knew how to hit for average power, everything. He knew how to move runners when he had to. And sometimes he'd try to move runners, and I would get mad at him. I said, that's not what we want you to do. But he knew how to play the game. So, as I said, good people make bad decisions. That's the bottom line. But we got to move on and correct them.